Welcome back. So I hope you got a little time out, a short break, right? In my first session, I talked about argumentative writing, and I told you how it is different from an opinion piece, right? And then in the second session, you have Kedin discuss about the different types of expository writing. Right. So I think you have everything in your mind in a way, right, from argumentative writing and then opinion writing and then cause and effect as well. So for this session, I just want you to, in a way, think about what you have learned this week and the previous week, right? We have been talking about the different types of writing, right? And if you remember, so last week in my session, I introduced you to different types of writing, and then I told you that we will be focusing mostly on the main categories of writing. That are the 4 types of writing, like narrative, expository, then persuasive writing, and then you have descriptive writing, right? So, right, here I just want to, in a way, quickly recap and review what are the different types of that writing that you have learned and what are the things that we have covered. I won't be going too much in detail, but I'll just try to quickly as possible, help you recap, that is recapitulate and review. Okay. Okay, so recap and review, and this is for all the classes. Okay. So 4 main categories of writing. So we have already discussed this, right? Narrative writing you have learned in detail. Descriptive writing also you have learned in detail. And persuasive writing also, I think I'm almost done, right? So opinion, persuasive, and then argumentative writing we have done. Then expository writing, Gela will finish in his next session. The problem and solution part, rest he had already covered. Okay. And then I also told you about other categories of writing like objective writing, subjective writing, creative writing, review writing. So I'm not going to go through these in detail. It will only in a way confuse you, except the fact that I just want to tell you, right, from looking at the word itself, objective, it's more objective, right, no, not biased, if you remember, right. Subjective is, the focus is more on the subject rather than the object, so it can be biased. And then you all know about creative writing, right? So out of your imagination, you create something, right? And then we talked about review writing, your book reviews, reviews about your movies and films and product reviews. So there are other types of writing. But we focused mainly on this part, right? Because these are the main categories of writing: narrative, descriptive, expository, and persuasive. Okay. So narrative writing, if you, just to help you quickly brush through, right, this narrative writing. So it is a type of writing in which the author shares an experience with others or tells a story. So the story could be a fact or fiction, right? It is a series of events told through narration. That is why it is called narrative writing, because there is narration, okay, happening. So you might be narrating an incident that actually happened to you, or you might be kind of narrating something that is a make-believe kind of story, okay, that is not real. So that is why I told you that narrative writing can be fictional as well as non-fictional. And then I told you that story writing is a type of narrative writing. So the story can be real or imaginary, okay. And if you remember the different elements of a story, do you remember? Yes? What are the things that we need to remember when you are writing a story or when you are reading a story, or the parts where we need to focus? Characters, right? And I remember telling you the protagonist and antagonist. If you remember, the main character is called protagonist. And then you have the negative role in a way, right? Antagonist. And I told you about the setting. It's very important where, okay, the story is happening. And then we need to think about when, right, the time. Okay, and then we also need to think about the plot of the story, the sequence of events that's happening in the story. And then we, in a way, need to think about the problem or a conflict in the story and how the conflict is resolved, how the problem is solved by the end of the story. And if you remember, I told you that the solution need not necessarily be like a happy ending to the story. Okay, sometimes it can be a sad ending. And in some cases, the author might surprise the reader by something else. Okay, so this is how you build a story, and story is a part of narrative writing, a type of narrative writing. Okay, yes, and then we have, like, okay, I told you narratives can be fictional as well as non-fictional. And then I told you that narrative writing can be personal. Okay, the word personal itself tells you it's something to do with yourself. Okay, it is a type of writing in which you write about an event, incident, or experience that has personally happened to you. And it is usually written in the first person using I, me, my. And if you remember, I narrated an incident that happened to me. If you remember, a dark, stormy night. Okay, if you remember, right? So I told you the things that happened, how scared I was. Okay, so and in personal narrative, so you have a beginning, a middle, and an ending. Like all narrative writing, you have that. Okay. And it uses transitional words to connect the events. So the events should not be written in separate ways, right, as if they have no connection. So everything has to be connected, and for that you have to use transitional words. Okay. So non-fictional narrative is something that is not out of imagination, but something that has really happened. Okay. So personal narrative, I have told you, you just need to identify fictional and non-fictional by thinking fictional is out of your imagination, which is not real, whereas non-fictional is based on fact. Okay, real. Okay, then we, like Gedin Sargila already took sessions on descriptive writing last week, right? And it is a type of expository writing. Now, earlier when I told you that descriptive writing is a type of expository writing, you were not aware of what actually is expository writing. Now, I think you are very clear about what actually is an expository writing. So, in descriptive writing, what happens is the writer describes things in detail by using the 5 senses to paint a picture for the readers. So, you have to be very vivid in describing, okay, whether you are describing a place, whether you are describing a thing, whether you are describing a person. Okay, so you have to be very, you can say, vivid in describing a detailed picture you have to present using the 5 senses. So it incorporates imagery and specific details. So imagery is very helpful when you are doing a descriptive writing so that it appeals to the senses of the readers. Okay. So it uses sensory details, descriptive words, and literary devices and personal impressions. So Gedin Sargila in his session very clearly in a way explained it to you or told you about different you can say descriptive words. He have given you examples of descriptive words and then literary devices, that is the figures of speech, right? Similes, metaphors, okay, other literary devices. And then you have to tell your personal impression about that, how you felt or how you're feeling. You can relate it with something like that has happened, or you can say a memory associated. So descriptive. So what you need to remember is by looking at what sort of writing, so descriptive suggests it's something that is describing something, right? Describe, descriptive, description, okay. Then you have expository writing. So yesterday Gedin Sargila started his session on expository writing. So it is a type of writing in which the author informs or explains the subject to the readers. So therefore it is also called informative writing. So here, okay, you are in a way informing and explaining. the things, okay? It's usually based on facts. So it is also called informative writing because it informs, okay? So different types of expository writing, sequencing or chronological writing that Gela already taught you yesterday, right? And then compare and contrast also was taken yesterday. And this morning he took the session, just the previous session, right? He talked about cause and effect. So I think all these things are quite fresh in your mind, right? And problem and solution he'll be discussing in the next session. So these are the different types of expository writing. And in my session, since yesterday, I have been discussing on persuasive writing. So which is a type of writing that states the opinion of the writer and attempts to influence the readers. Okay? So its main purpose is to persuade the reader about something. Or you might want the reader to do something, right? So 3 different types. If you remember in my first session yesterday, I told you, appeal to reason, the persuasive writing that appeals to reason, appeals to emotion, and appeals to character. Okay, just try to, meanwhile you are looking at the slides, try to think about the things that we taught yesterday in my session, right? Keep thinking about that, and then it will be easier for you to remember. And then we talked about opinion writing yesterday, right? So, and I told you what actually is an opinion writing. So it takes a stand on a topic and supports. Okay, so opinion writing takes a stand on a topic and supports opinions and facts. Opinions with, facts and details. So the main purpose is to convince. Now, in case if you want to persuade someone through your opinion writing, okay, your opinion writing becomes persuasive. Okay, you want to, if it's just an opinion piece, so you may not want the other person to be convinced, okay, you are just sharing your opinion, but then it can take the form of persuasive writing if you want to persuade or convince the other person, okay. Uses only one side of the claim, like I told you this morning. In opinion writing, we don't talk about counterclaim, right? We are looking at just, you can say, one angle, one side of the thing. That is your opinion, okay, your argument. You are not thinking about the other side, okay? Whereas in argumentative writing, you have to take that, you can say, into account as well, okay? Yes. So argumentative writing, I think this is very fresh in your mind because this morning only we talked about argumentative writing. So here, so argumentative writing actually is based more on facts, okay, and reasons than emotions and personal opinions. In opinion writing, see, this sort of writing can be influenced by your personal feelings, okay, your emotions, whereas argumentative writing is more on facts and reasons, more valid, with more strong, you can say, valid reasons rather than your emotions, okay. The main purpose is to give another perspective for the readers to consider. So I told you this morning only that in argumentative writing, you are not in a way trying to convince the other person to listen to you by just proving your reason. Here you are trying to present the fact in such a way that the other person consider your opinion. Okay, you are being very tactful. You are being very logical in explaining the things, and then not just from your point of view, you are also taking into consideration the other side, okay, taking into consideration the point of view of the other side, and then laying that things, and then trying to, in a way, prove to the readers that your point is correct, okay, but then in a very balanced way. The word argument might seem like violent or someone shouting or yelling at each other, but actually this is not the case when it comes to writing. It's more balanced. Okay. Yes. uses both claims and counterclaim. So in opinion writing, you have just claim, no counterclaim. Okay. Whereas in argumentative writing, you have claims as well as counterclaims. Okay. So this is about the, you can say, the writing types that you have learned. So for the expository writing, Gideon Sargila will do the review in his session. So I'm just in a way trying to let you think of what are the different types of writing that you have learned so far. Okay, and then quickly going through all those writing types. Now, this morning I told you about argumentative writing, right? And now the next part of this session, I am just going to help you, you can say, learn more about persuasive writing. And I told you persuasive writing can take any format, right? It can be written in the form of a 5-paragraph essay. It can be a paragraph, just one paragraph. It can be a letter. It can be proposal. You have, and then I told you that in advertisements you see all these things. So there are many, you can say, writings where you see this sort of writing. So the whole thing is to just persuade someone. Even like, I don't know if it's convenient. Okay, so since you are too young for this, so senior students might understand, like when you are writing an application for a job, right? Your motive is to, in a way, persuade or convince, okay, the person to take you or give you the job, right? You give your biodata, your resume in a way, you tell that you will be very dedicated, you do this. You are trying to convince, isn't it? So in so many different ways, you find this sort of writing, persuasive writing, where you want the other person to listen to you or do something for you when it's come to persuasive rather than argumentative. Okay, so since now this session is not only for grade 8, so I have students from grade 5 to 8 and maybe even senior students, right, watching this, or because this is quite applicable for all. So I have here an example that would in a way help you understand that yes, persuasive writing can be in this form as well. Okay, so let's quickly look at. Okay, so this is a letter. I hope this is visible, right? So I have to write in smaller writing so that I don't have to paste too many papers here. Okay, flip charts here. So I have written in quite a small handwriting, I feel, but I hope it's visible. So, okay. Okay, so how many of you have learned letter writing so far? I guess almost all of you have at least learned about letter writing. So this is a letter, okay, and looking at the format, you can easily see that this is a formal or informal letter. I have written here, dearest mom. Yes, did I hear informal? Yes, you're very right, informal. And you know what, in my class, okay, I often tell my students, because I have seen that students often get confused between formal letter and informal letter. They know the format, right? Informal letter, they have to first mention the address of the addressee, and then later you have the date, and later only you write the address of addresser, addressee, addresser. Addressee is the one who is receiving. Addresser is the one who is sending, right? And then you need to have subject, isn't it? Dear sir, then you have the, after salutation you have subject, then you introduce and your body of letter and you conclude the letter, isn't it? Signatory remarks, everything is there. Now what happens is sometimes students get confused between formal and informal letter. Okay, so how I tell them to remember this, to identify formal and informal. Okay, this is just my tip or trick to help them. Okay. Formal, informal. So I tell my students to remember this. In, okay. Internal, okay. Internal means your relative, your friends, okay. So if you remember in, okay, and translate in into Tibetan. You try to translate in Tibetan, what actually is, right? We talk nang, right? So I just tell them internal. So informal is a sort of letter that you write internally, your parents, your friends, your relatives. Okay, doesn't have to be to your boss, you can say, or your principal, your teacher. So these all take the formal format. Okay, this is just to help you remember. Informal, if you are struggling with this, right? Identifying informal and formal. So informal. So what do you see? This is an informal letter. Okay, and so what I just want to stress again is that though I am discussing persuasive writing, okay, and I have taken help of a letter, the format of a letter, but I'm being very careful not to ignore the format of a letter. Because I cannot just start writing letter thinking that, oh, this is not a letter writing, I can ignore the format. I cannot do that. Okay, though I am stressing on persuasive writing, but then my letter should follow the proper format. Okay, this is how you have to do. Whatever you learn, you have to imply, you have to implement. Okay, you have to apply. So when you are talking about persuasive writing, you cannot just focus on persuasive writing only and you forget all the other facts. Like I told you, when we are doing some sort of opinion writing, if it's in the form of an essay, you have to keep in mind the proper format for essay writing. You need to think about the elements, isn't it? Even if you are doing some other sort of writing and if it's in the form of a story, you cannot neglect the elements of a story. Everything has to be taken care of. Please remember that, okay? So let's read the letter. So Dharamsala, I have written Dharamsala because this is my address. I haven't written the detailed address, just Dharamsala. This is a place, okay? 14th July, this is today's date, 14th July 2020. Or you can write July 14, okay? You can write July 14, 2020. Okay, let me tell you one more thing, okay, out of my experience. What happens is, sometimes, I don't know if this happens with you or not, okay, this is quite a common thing. So like 14th, I have written TH. What happens is, sometimes, maybe younger children, they are confused because you have seen people writing ST, right, when it's 1. ND, right, 3rd, 4th, 5th, it goes like this, right? First, second, and then till like 20 or 10th, even 11, 12, 13, 14, all you have TH when you write date, okay. And then when it's 21st, you have 1 ST, like this. But what happens is, okay, some students, in a way, during exam or when it's writing assignment the teacher gives, they get confused whether to write ST or ND or RD or TH here, 4th, 5th, right? So there I tell my students, if you are little confused, you are in doubt whether the way I have written is correct or not, what you can do is skip this part. Don't do this. If you are confused, if you are in doubt, when you are not very sure, what you can opt for is, here I am very sure, that's why I have written 14th July. Okay, so when you are not very sure, what you can do is, you can just write July 14, comma, and then the year. Then you will be safe from making the mistake if you are not very sure. If you add after 14, you can add ST. If you make ST, then it is wrong, right? In order to avoid doing this mistake, though it's very important you learn this, right? But in some cases, sometimes it happens when you are in doubt. Then what you can do is you just skip this part. Rather than doing this, you opt for this way. July 14, 2020. Now, there's no way you are going to be incorrect here. Is that clear? Remember this, okay? Okay, I think I'm just going out of the point, but then I felt this is very important. You should learn this also, okay? So, dearest mom, I am writing this letter to request you to buy me a new set of storybooks. I am in need of a new set of books as I have already finished reading the books you bought for me. Not only this, I have read the books that were gifted to me by my friends and relatives on my birthday. In fact, I have read them twice and thrice. Mom, you might have noticed that I have developed a passion for reading quite recently, and therefore, I feel if I don't get enough books to read, it would be easier for me to diverge my interests to some other things that might not be good, like reading. Therefore, I really feel that you should buy me some books at the earliest possible. I know how much you love me and want me to be a good reader and learner. I look forward to getting some interesting books to read soon. With love, yours daughter, Denshe. It's my name. Okay. So I have tried to keep the language as simple as possible, thinking we have students of class 5 as well. Okay. So diverge means in a way like if you're moving this way, so diverge is you're going this side or maybe this side, you're diverging. Okay, not going the main way, it's diverging. Twice and rest, I think you can understand, right? I have tried to keep it quite simple. Okay. So, what do you think I have done in this letter? What I want some books, right? I want my mom to buy me some books. So, how am I making this request? Okay, this is an example of a persuasive letter. You are trying to persuade or convince your mother to buy you books. Because I've given reasons as well, right? I haven't just written that, Mom, I just want some books. Please buy me books. No reason, right? Here I have given reason. I have just justified that I have read all the books that I have. Even I have read them twice and thrice. And one more strong reason here, so that your mom in a way gets convinced that she should buy you books. Is that what have I written here? I have developed a passion for reading quite recently. It's not very long time back, so it's quite new, right? You have developed interest for reading, so you are new to that, right? And so if you don't get enough books, so it would be easier for you to diverge your interest or find interest in some other things which may not be good. You may start liking playing PUBG as well, okay, or any other things that wouldn't be that productive. So you are trying to tell your mom that it may happen, okay, and so therefore you are telling your mom, requesting your mom to buy books as early as possible. That's why I've written at the earliest possible. So why have I written therefore here? Okay. Okay, I have made use of a sort of, I'm connecting and then justifying in a way, right? I really feel that you should buy me some books at the earliest. Okay, it's persuasive. So, and then if you think about, if I, like I told you that persuasive writing can be like appeal to emotion, appeal to reason, appeal to character. So, if you just look at the letter, what would you think? It's the stronger element in this letter is emotions, isn't it? You are making your mom emotional in a way, right? And then not just emotions, I have in a way made use of appeal to reason, because you are giving your mom valid reasons why she should buy you books. Okay, you have. And then again, the character definitely plays, because you are writing to your mom, right? And your mom believes you in a way. It usually happens. Parents believe their children. They have faith. They have trust in their children. So your mom will believe you what you are telling, and your mom see. So you see the elements, all the appeals, right? Emotion, character, and reason. But stronger here, it's emotions in a way, right? Like, I know how much you love me and how much you want me to be a good reader and learner. And so you are in a way telling your mom, yeah, you should buy me books. Okay. So this is, you can say, persuasive writing, right? Now, okay, look, we have time. Okay. So this is a type of persuasive writing. Now, this can be, like, I think, easily understood by even younger children, younger students. Okay, this letter is not very short, but you can try writing shorter. Class 5, 6, 5 students at least. Okay, 6, I think they can write this much. Now, if I want to convert this into an argumentative piece, how am I going to do that? Okay, see, if you remember, so if I want to use the same letter, okay, same writing, but in a different way, okay, in an argumentative piece, what I can do is, see, I'm writing this letter to request you to buy me. Now, my topic or my claim would be, what would be my claim in this? Should buy, okay, you should buy me some books, isn't it? This would be my claim. Your mom should buy you some books. So you should buy me some books. So your claim would be, okay, buy me. Mom, you should buy me some books. This would be your claim. Okay. Mom, you should buy me some books. Now you have to justify, you have to give valid reasons why your mom should buy you some new books. Okay. Mom, you should buy me some books. Now, how you are going to do that? You are going to take help from here. Okay, this is a persuasive letter. I'm just trying to help you, okay, how this can be turned into an argumentative piece. Okay, because this way I think you will be, you can say, able to understand in a better way. So your reasons are why you need the books. See, you have already finished reading the books. Okay, you should buy me some books. Okay, again, as I have already finished reading the books that you bought. Okay, so I'll just try to make it shorter. Okay, bought. So not only this, I have read the books that were gifted to my, okay, you can add like, I've also read the books gifted to me on my, I'm just making it short rather than writing friends and relatives, gifted to me on my birthday. Okay, I forgot to, so it should come here, okay? Indenting, I forgot to indent, okay? On my birthday. I've also read the books gifted to me on my birthday twice and twice or thrice, okay. Okay. So here you are just giving reasons. I'm just trying to make it very short, okay? And then you can add, like, see, I have my claim and then I have the reason, right? So in argumentative writing, I told you I need to have counterclaim, isn't it? Okay, then, so how am I going to do that? My counterclaim. Okay, I think I should have done it here. So I've already finished reading the books that you bought. I've also read. So here I think I should add, okay, the counter claim. Mom, you might say that, like, do you remember in the, like in my first session today, I told you that in counterclaim you can use like people might argue that, okay, others might think that or believe that, okay. So here it is, rather than people and others, mom, okay, your mother. Mom, you might say that, okay. I have those books that were gifted by my friends and relatives. Here I'm using this, okay. See, here I have written, I have already finished reading the books that you bought, okay. So I'll keep it up to here, okay, to reason in a way. And there I am just trying to look at the other side, what my mom might think. Because I told you in argumentative writing, you have to be very critical. You just cannot think what you are thinking. You have to keep in mind what the other person might be thinking or what the other person might think. Okay, you have to be ready for that. So you might feel like, oh, your mom might ask you, so you have other books also that were gifted to you during your birthday, on your birthday, right? So this is your counterclaim. Mom, you might say that I have those books that were gifted by my friends and relatives. Okay, but now here instead of however you can use but, okay, but I have, okay, so this one. This part I think I'll keep it, move it here, okay. But I have already, now rather than also read, I'll write it. I'm following writing process at the same time, right? Editing and all. So I've already read the books gifted to me on my birthday twice and thrice. Now, see, you thought that your mom might ask, so if you have finished reading the books I have bought, right? So you have other books who were gifted by your friends and relatives on your birthday. So this might be the question your mom would ask. And so you have the response to that counterclaim. Okay, your mom's counterclaim might be that you have other books gifted by your friends and relatives. And then your response to that, it would be, I have already read the books gifted to me on my birthday twice or thrice. So how I cannot read any longer. You have already read twice or thrice. Okay, so your position becomes stronger. Did you get that? So when you have your claim and then you think about the other view, right, the other side, that is the counterclaim, and then how would you respond to the counterclaim? So your mom's counterclaim would be you have the books gifted by your friends and relatives on your birthday, right? And your response to the counterclaim here, I have already read those books also, right? Twice and thrice. Now your mom would be left with no other option other than buying you books. Okay, and then you can add the emotional touch. Try to emotionally, in a way, tell your mom, convince your mom that if she does not buy you books soon, your interest for reading might diverge to something else that won't be good for you. Okay, I'm not going to write here. So you can take help of this, right? Because in this I have the claim, I have the counterclaim, and you respond. Okay, that is why I'm just keeping it here to save. Okay, 37 minutes. So you can add after that. Moreover, so this is another reason, right? A stronger point in order to make. Moreover, like in absence of books, okay, you can add or you can write the same thing, right? Moreover, you know that I have developed a passion for reading. You can continue from that, okay? I have developed passion for reading quite recently, and therefore, in absence of books to read, my interest would diverge to something else, which may not be a good one. Okay, so there's stronger reason to convince your mom that she should buy you books. Okay, and with all this, after writing all this, then you can just say, Okay, I know, mom, you, okay. So in argumentative writing, see, you cannot in a way try to write all these things, you love me and all, okay. So we can skip this part. You just give reasons, justify. So I may, you can say, find interest in something else which is not good. So therefore, I feel that, or you can say, therefore, mom, you should buy me some books. Okay, so restating your position, your claim is, mom, you should buy me some books. So in the concluding part, you can restate. So with all the reason, right, mom, you should buy me some books. Is that clear? Does that make some sense? To, in a way, identify. Okay. See how argumentative writing is little different from persuasive writing or opinion writing. Clear? Okay. And one more thing I just want to add. I have deliberately chosen the topic buying books, because I feel that students really need to cultivate reading habit. That's, as you can say, a passion for reading. Okay, you really need to develop that. Okay, so reading is, you can say, one of the most important thing you can do in order to what? Develop yourself, okay, in so many ways. Okay, so I don't know whether you have ever written such letter to your parents, please buy me books, or maybe your parents are like giving you books, telling you, please read. I hope this is not the case. I really hope that all of you have a strong, you can say, passion for reading, not aversion, okay. And moreover, in the letter, I told you, your friends and relatives have gifted you books, because this is what I really want you all to do. When you want to gift your friends or your relatives, a sister or brother, something, please think of giving a book as a birthday gift. That would be the greatest gift in a way to give someone, rather than chocolates and other things. Try giving books. So that's why I've included this here. I'm just trying to convey the message as well. Okay. Okay. And so this is, I think, the end of my session. And since we will be meeting only next week, right, you have 5 more days, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So meanwhile, I want you to, okay, try. So class 5, 6, 7 students, try to write a persuasive letter. This would be your assignment, okay? Try to write a persuasive letter to your parents, okay, your mom or your dad or your uncle or so anyone, and you are free to decide what type of writing you are going to, sorry, not write, what type of, what you want to include. Here I have requested my mom to buy me a new set of storybooks, right? So in your letter, you can ask anything, or you can tell your mom or your parents to do something for you. So your letter should be in a persuasive form, okay? And class 8 students, you could try writing an argumentative paragraph. Okay, that is, you can say, a topic that is often debatable, something where you can debate, okay? So you think about any topic that could be a good topic for debate, okay? And then try, follow the strategies, and because, so the live session will be over, but then you will be able to see, okay, in Tibettv's YouTube channel, okay, you can watch there, and then if you didn't understand anything, you can just go through it again and then try writing a paragraph, an argumentative paragraph, if you can do that. Or else you can think about doing persuasive writing, or you can do both, right? Persuasive letter and argumentative writing. Take example of the argumentative piece of writing I have given you on PUBG, right? People should stop playing PUBG. Take that example. Is that clear? And I hope you will do that assignment. And after finishing your assignment, I request you to submit it to your teachers. Okay. Thank you so much. See you next week.